I'm out here with the MJX Bugs 8. This is an entry-level racing quadcopter as it's advertised by MJX, the makers of the wildly popular Bugs 3 quadcopter. Sporting a 1300 mAh battery with an XT30 connector. The full package has an FPV receiver screen, 720p camera that transmits at 500 milliwatts on the 5.8 gigahertz, meaning it's not a Wi-Fi FPV flyer. And when you get the full package with the goggles, you can slide the screen down in there and you can do FPV right from these goggles. The controls are very well labeled, like most MJX products, so we'll do that as we go. To bind MJX quads, hold down on the red button, press up. Now the controller is blinking green. It's in bind. Plug in the Bugs 8. And that's it, you're done. Stop blinking and it's ready to go. Now I've got the screen on. It's very difficult to see in the sun. We are on channel 1, 5705 megahertz. Remember that your channels need to match, and those are configurable. On here, there are little dip switches. This particular position with all the way up is 5705. That's channel C1 on the receiver. So you gotta make sure that your frequencies match perfectly to maximize your FPV quality. All right, so it does record to SD card. So I'm gonna go ahead and start recording now for you guys. All right, and we're ready to launch. And this guy's gonna run over my bugs. Well, there we go. Now the Bugs has brushless motors, 1806. But the battery's only 2-cell battery, so you're not going to be ripping too fast. But it's got quite a bit of punch for what it is. It's definitely a zippy flyer, especially since it's only got a 2-cell battery to work with here. Let's bring it in close. Extremely responsive. That's the yaw rate. Gonna get about 5 minutes of run time on the stock battery. Now I am flying right now in the stabilized mode. It does not have acro. That was one of my top questions in the demo video that I posted flying this with the Fat Shark goggles, is does it have acro? The answer to that is no. And I'll discuss that a little later in this video. So you only get one mode and you get 2 rates, high and low. And that's the low rate. Very slow. Turtle slow. We can do some flips. Back flips, forward flips, left flips, right flips. It does them all. Now the camera on this is adjustable, and you're gonna wanna adjust it to be as up as possible, because you really don't want to be recording the ground. As it is, you've probably already seen some ground in this video, because when you pitch forward, especially in a stabilized mode, you're just going to be recording the freaking ground. So don't forget to adjust your camera angle. Alright, I think we've seen enough line of sight. I think it's a great flyer line of sight. Even with the 2S battery, you can see it definitely flies nice. Solid unit. But I want to save some battery so we can get those goggles on and fly around. I'm not going to hand catch it. Nope, not going to hand catch the damn thing. Alright, so the second half of the review is going to be focused on the goggles and the FPV experience. I'm going to go ahead and put my Runcam 3 inside the goggles so you guys can see what I'm seeing, and I'll comment about it so you can hear what I have to think about the FPV experience with the Bugs. Alright, so let's set up the official MJX Bugs 8 goggles here. It's this little clip in here. Turn on the receiver. We are pointed right where we should be. Insert it in. I'm going to be sitting in this chair with my face forward, not down. And we're ready for takeoff. So you are inside the goggles, the official MJX goggles with me now. And you're going to see exactly what I see on that screen, both when I'm flying line of sight and with these goggles. Now, we go around that tree. Now this is where I want you to take note about how there's a lot of breakup that happened just there. When I go up and down by that tree, which isn't very far. That's about, I don't know, I'd estimate about 200 feet away. And we are getting breakup out here. Actually, we're getting a lot of breakup right now. In close range, too, which is kind of weird. I get glitches from time to time. But as soon as we get out anywhere here, we're going to end up with a lot of breakup. Over here by this tree, we're having breakup. There's actually a lot of glitching. Now, with any FPV stream, you're always going to have breakup. It is a fact. It's never going to be perfect. It's analog. It's an analog signal. But I can tell you that I have multiple different racers, and video transmitters on them are definitely not as sensitive as this one is with respect to breakup. Because I'm constantly getting all sorts of breakup on the screen. And it really shouldn't be. Not within 500 feet. The advertisement states that it goes to about 300 meters to 500 meters. And, you know, it's not just going behind trees either. Like I said, I'm around this bend. And I'm getting all sorts of breakup. To the point that it's... I'm not too bothered by it because I'm used to breakup like that. I'm used to breakup in my video feed. And I'm a seasoned FPV flyer. I'm not a pro by any means, but I am used to it per se. So I can kind of deal with, whoa, okay, so we almost blacked out there. That was really bad. I mean, I am used to it, so I can kind of navigate around it. I feel like someone new who this is aimed at, is gonna get a little disoriented by this. I mean, that is a bit scary per se, to just have all of that static in your video. Really think, and to tell you the truth, it's preventing me right now from going as fast as I would want with this, because I just don't want to push it and be unable to stop myself, because I have no idea how the video is going. I had much better luck with an earlier video that I posted, and you can go check that out. That's in the description below, where I just hooked right up to the Fat Shark goggles. But as far as this, is it usable? Yeah. Is it a good experience? No. The second there's anything introduced, like an obstacle, or even if you're going around, slightly going around something, it's going to be a problem. Oh! Whoa. Okay, so I just crashed into a tree because I blacked out. So hold on a second. I'm going to go ahead and go get it. Just to know, as you can see, the bugs is fine. Ah, see that? You got to watch this. This top piece likes to unclip sometimes. It makes it easy to really get into it. But if you have a crash, you really got to make sure that it's on all the way. Okay. Alright, so now I want to talk about the camera. So the camera, now this is besides the issue with the thing. Oh, now we have low battery. Alright, that's annoying. I'll talk about the camera. We have low battery. Oh, I'm going to come in. You do get an audible beep when you are running out of battery like that, and your controller starts to beep, which is good. So you get some time to land. Let me finish my thoughts on the Bugs 8. If you look back at some of the video that I took here and there, you're going to notice that there's light switching. And this is on both the onboard recorded micro SD card video, as well as the FPV feed. It's much more apparent on the FPV feed, and it looks worse on there. But if you look at that, that's that constant changing of the light, which is really hard to avoid. The sensor in this camera obviously is a CMOS one, which basically means that it doesn't adjust to fast changing light. Typically, racers are equipped with what's known as a CCD camera, and I think MJX missed the boat there. CMOS cameras are generally cheaper, which is probably why they did this, but it really hampers the FPV experience as a result of the fact that it doesn't adapt well to various light changes. You really have to be in very perfect light conditions to even use this, because again, as you are going up and down and looking at the floor, the light reflection is all different. So you're going to have that issue with this camera. Overall, what do I think of the Bugs 8? I think it's an awesome line of sight flyer. I really do. MJX makes really good quadcopters. They do. I mean, this is a nice build quality. I don't like the fact that this is plastic or nylon, because to me that's a liability in a crash, especially for a racer. I do feel though that unfortunately the Bugs 8 falls short. So I'm going to sum this up real quick. As an FPV first flyer, number one, I really wish that this had acro mode. Like I said earlier, the number one question for me was, does this have acro mode? And no. So for those of you who don't know what acro mode is, it means that there's no self-stabilization. If you've flown the Bugs 3 or any other toy grade quadcopter, you know that they will stabilize themselves. But when you're flying a racer, 99% of people fly racers, they don't fly stabilized. And the reason why is because the copter is constantly fighting you. You can't do some of those cool maneuvers that you see in all the videos by people like Rotor Riot and Charpoo FPV. Check those videos out on YouTube if you want an example of people who can do tricks with FPV race quads at freestyle. You simply can't do them with this. I mean, you can do the flips, but you're not going to be able to graduate from flying stable to acro, to where you have the control and the computer doesn't. And I think that for a racer, that's a big miss. The second big miss to me is the camera and the video transmitter. Like I said earlier, 500 milliwatts is wonderful, blaring that much energy out into the air to try to get the signal, but it doesn't make up for not having a good antenna. It has no video transmitter antenna, and I was afraid of this when I saw it, but I decided to give it the benefit of the doubt. I have, and I'm not impressed. They gotta have an antenna. And I took a look at the new Bugs 250, which will be coming out soon, and that's got an antenna on it. It really wouldn't have hurt to put an antenna on this model. So this model's video quality is extremely hampered. You could have lowered the milliwatt hours on the video transmitter and put a mushroom antenna or an omnidirectional antenna on here, and it would have been a much better experience. Plastic is great and all, but for a beginner racer, I really wish that they would have made this have not only some plastic, but carbon fiber for the arms. Something that's strong for the points of impact that are gonna take the most beating if a newbie crashes. I had a crash out there. Obviously it held up crashing in the grass, but be careful if you crash this on concrete or something similar, because again, we are dealing with all plastic. Most racers, I would say 99% of them, are all made of carbon fiber because it's light and because it's durable. And finally, this is just a minor gripe. I really don't think a 2-cell battery is suitable for a racer. I would have gone with at least a 3-cell. It's a zippy flyer. It's nice, but it's just not racer class to be using a 2-cell battery. So is the MJX Bugs 8 a don't buy? No, I would say it is a buy, but I don't recommend the goggles and the entire kit. And then maybe get yourself a different pair of goggles in the future, or just use this as a line of sight flyer to play around. I'm sorry, MJX. I really appreciate you sending this out to me for an honest review. And I just want to see future Bugs products improved. I love the Bugs 3, and I'm sure I will love the Bugs 250 as long as it has acro on it. But like I said, if you were looking to do acro, if you were looking to have a quality camera and an FPV transmission, this just misses the mark. So that's it. That is my review and my take on the MJX Bugs 8. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope this was of use to you. I'm not bashing MJX. I just want to help them improve their products. So that's it. Take care and have a great day, guys.